Okay, so our broader market thesis has played out perfectly, and it appears as though correlation may be decoupling again. We have yet again another tool to determine price projections. Let's go over those metrics now for an edge over tomorrow's session. Welcome back on this Thursday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. Let's kill them, team. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Let's dive into these charts and find out what that edge could be. First of all, let's start off with the SPY. Okay, so we were talking about this descending broadening wedge for a few days now, maybe a week now, right? And this was easily seen from the hourly chart, right? So this is how we were able to determine our top side and how we were able to determine the potential sell-off too. Right, so we signaled the upside here at around 436 just about 4 days ago, and you can clearly see that we actually made the price action right into our area of supply. Right, so the reason we were able to determine this top side is because of the traditional trading rules from this formation itself. Right, so take profit for this formation is usually found at the genesis of the formation, of which was located at about 444.71, and based on a few other correlations, specifically the top side of this gap here, this is why we were able to give this top side of the range, right? So we said that anywhere between 444.71 to that 447.44 would be a place for a deep correction, right? And in fact, we did get that, and it has succeeded well. So what I am noticing here is that there is a decoupling again. So let me show you what I mean. So this is a SPY, which, by the way, we printed a bearish engulfing after an uptrend. So this is it's pretty powerful, right? So there could be a continuation to the downside even still. And I have some projections for the SPY as well. Okay, so please notice that also our projections for the DXY are correct as well. So far we are touching down at that 103 level that we were speaking of just a couple days ago, and my topside targets are around 104 to 105. Okay, so for the DXY, which would naturally present some pressures on risk assets. Okay, so now this is what I wanted to show you here. So please notice that the SPY is actually now showing that weakness towards the downside, and FNGR is showing a little bit of strength towards the upside. This was precisely what we were talking about, that we would find some potential strength upon the weakness of the SPY based on a pullback. So the ascension, or that price incline that we got over the last few days, this would be the reason why FNGR would touch back down to the area of around what we said it was around what was it? I'll tell you right now. I'm sorry, it was 385, right? But we got 396 and then bounced to the upside. So this was the thesis, is we were going to see the weakness on FNGR based on the SPY strength, and then upon the SPY's weakness, we would then have the bottom side support in, and then we could make an upside. What I mean by bottom side support is actually in respects to FNGR, meaning that we would, let me go back to that chart so you can see. I guess we can use this one here. So we would essentially have had the 385 in, and then we would be making an upside continuation. In this case, we only reached 396. It was very close, but not as close as we thought, right? And now there is an upside happening. Okay, so the thesis is sound so far. It is a little choppy though, right? So, and I think that we may have got a pretty interesting hint from a very kind listener this morning. So that was oh man, Sandman 130, if I remember the name. Very cool guy. And he actually said, hey, ARCa, why don't you pair the ticker symbol SPY with the Chinese iShares ETF, and that is the CNYA. And I actually found that there is correlation between it. Between FNGR, I get it. FNGR is actually established in Singapore, and of course, that's like Southeast Asia, right? So, and this is the Chinese ETF. So, what I'm trying to say here is that there is an inherent correlation now, and I see it. And so I ran a small back test here, and the back test is actually it dates all the way to the 30th of March this year to present day. And you can see here that every green line is actually a front run to an upside that FNGR follows. So meaning that anytime that we did get a green candle like this, which is right over here on this one here, we would get the front run first on the Chinese ETF, and then FNGR would follow with an upside after a short-term downside. So it has happened more often than not. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 12 iterations, giving us that that upside probability. So the correlation between the CNYA and FNGR is pretty tight. I actually did pull up the correlation coefficient as well, so we can observe that in the weekly time frame. And as of late, we have been inclining that correlation. So the correlation has been getting tighter and tighter over the last couple months. So it is showing some validity here. Another thing that I want to point out here is that if that is the case, and the CNYA does pose an upside potential, then we would be practicing a double bottom here soonish, which would be amazing, right? So actually right around these targets here is where we had a pretty parabolic upside. So that's looking pretty good. Another thing is, team, I'm sorry that I'm a little feeling weird here. I actually ate this. I actually ate like a corn dog with my son, and I'm just getting this like acid reflux like nobody's business. So I'm over here just like swallowing every like 30 seconds, trying to hide it from you guys. Dude, it's terrible. All right. Anyway, so let's continue on the analysis here, right? So, yeah, so I wanted to touch on the correlation coefficient between the SPY and FNGR, of course, right? So we can actually see that pivot, it started to kind of, correct again. And although it's still facing the downside, we want it to we want this to decouple, right? We want it to continue to the downside here so that the SPY weakness introduces FNGR strength. Okay, so, I mean, although it is still on a downside pivot, I feel like it just wants to correlate again, right? So, another thing is, team, while I do remember right now, Fed Chair Powell is going to be speaking tomorrow. So, if I were to consider anything here, I would consider staying cash tomorrow and observing the markets, because usually the easier trades are done after, announcements like the ones that we're going to face tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, let me just make sure that that's out of the way, and yeah, so let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here. So let's see, what was the chart that I wanted to show you? We already got the correlation down. Not really sure why GTII ended up running here to around 70 cents, unless there was some type of announcement. Let's see. Yeah, no, it was just the acquisition 3 days ago. I don't know if this is now starting to price it today. I don't think so. But if you do know of any reason why the GTII asset ran, just please let me know in the chat or in the comments below, and we can further discuss. I know that there was a meeting that was held today, a whale meeting, right, for a potential purchase of the FNGR asset. I'm not sure if GTII was included in that. I'm not sure if that could have been the catalyst for this upside on GTII, but whatever the case may be, please let me know in the comments below so that we are aware and we are treating this together. And yeah, we'll go ahead and continue on. So let's go ahead and just go to the final part of the analysis here, and this is going to be the RSI. So 30-minute immediate short-term time frame is falling slightly below that SMA 14. However, both of the metrics are still with a very, actually the RSI signal is straight. I mean, this is really horizontal here, but the moving average is still suggesting an upside. So there may actually be a continuation to an upside there in the immediate short term. Okay, so the bi-hourly time, I mean, the thing is here is that if it does face a downside, the bi-hourly time frame is already using the SMA 14 here, represented by that pink line, as kind of a guide towards that way up. So yeah, you know what, there is a potential there that we could be using that as a continuation to the upside. So however, I must warn that there are certain pressures that are indicating potential consolidation, right? So, and now this consolidation is typical before we get these economic reports and announcements, especially from Fed Chair Powell, right? So we have to make sure to keep those things in mind, as well as all of the major timeframes are suggesting either a slight upside or a slight downside with potential supports. So this is why I'm saying that we're going to have to see what the price action brings in tomorrow. If anything, I would really like for FNGR to continue capitulating into the area of 385 for a potential bounce. But I mean, the thing is that we're already at around, what was it, 430 something in the after hours? Yeah, 434. That would be a massive decline. I'm not sure that that's possible at this moment in time, to be perfectly honest myself, but it would be accepted greatly, and that would honestly present a pretty nice opportunity for the straggling longs to get long the asset, right? So but yeah, it's just my opinion here, team. I know that we're at 434. This is it is quite the distance away from that 385, and we have actually moved on pretty nicely from that 396. If you are curious over what that metric is, if you did catch that 396, you are up almost 9.5%, or just upside of 9.5%. So it's not bad. But yeah, team, I can't distinguish the upside or downside here clearly in respects to the macroeconomic data that we're going to be receiving tomorrow, or the announcement, sorry. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here on tomorrow morning. I'm going to be streaming this at 6:40 a.m. Pacific time. So go ahead and come by, say hi to the team. Lots of incredible people there. The crowd is growing and growing little by little, day by day. So our strength is becoming quite a force to be reckoned with, right? So I definitely appreciate everybody for coming by and watching this video. If any questions, you know where to reach me. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Okay, team? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios. Yeah.